FS1 College Hoops Tip-Off is sponsored by Ford. Going further so you can. Welcome to Omaha, Nebraska and the Century Link Center as the Creighton Bluejays entertain the Alcorn State Braves. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Nick Baugh, and Creighton won their opener quite easily over a very good Yale team as they had two upperclassmen, and Marcus Foster and Kyrie Thomas go for a combined 45 points, and they shot a ridiculous 75% from the floor. That's a good duo.
One of the best wing combinations in the country. Showed you why in game number 1. With Kyrie Thomas, he's the reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Year. But the energy he expends on that end of the floor doesn't take away from his energy on offense. 10 of 12 from the floor the other night. Hurt Yale from inside and outside. And then Marcus Foster, sometimes efficiency and shot selection can be questionable, but he's an electric scorer. And how about 9 of 13 through the first games? He took the right shots, and he really played well in game number 1. Foster, Thomas, one of the best wing combinations in the country.
Let's check out the Jeep Grand Cherokee starting lineups. You have A.J. Mosby, the point guard for Alcorn State. But watch out for Reginald Johnson. He might be the SWAC Player of the Year when this season is finished. And for Creighton, well, we told you about Foster and Thomas, but Davion Mintz, I was really impressed with a sophomore point guard who looked very comfortable on the floor on Friday.
Well, Mintz had 5 assists, 1 turnover, and the backup point guard, Tyshawn Alexander, had 5 assists, 1 turnover. And so with the wings that Creighton has, and the point guards go for 10 assists, 2 turnovers, Creighton's going to be dynamite offensively.
And there is Toby Hegner, who is a stretch 4, an excellent three-point shooter. As a matter of fact, Toby hit one of his 4 three-point attempts, but he's a guy who can go deep from beyond 25 feet out. Creighton in the white and blue, Alcorn in the gold and purple. And knocking it down immediately is Alcorn State. And that is Dante Sterling, but we do have a traveling violation.
I've seen better starts to games in my life for a home team. That's unbelievable. 3 right out the gates and a turnover. It's what you need, though, when you're on the road. Obviously, things didn't go well for Alcorn State at LSU on Friday night. Got to get your confidence up early in the game. Good defensive sequence there from Toby Hegner, taking the charge on Reginald Johnson.
And Greg McDermott is coaching in his 250th game at Creighton, and he has done a wonderful job. Once again, they were one of the elite teams last year until they lost the great point guard 19 games in after starting 18-1.
Most programs, if they would lose a first-round draft pick like Justin Patton and a point guard that was top 10 nationally in assists, it would kind of devastate the program into the following year. But Creighton has built a roster with depth, and they have a system that allows them to sustain certain losses. And so what Greg McDermott's been able to do has been really impressive.
Hegner, this is the stretch 4 we were talking about. He misses his first 3 opportunity, and the rebound goes to Alcorn State. Dante Sterling, a very good shooter, and he misses his second 3 in this chance. Marcus Foster goes right wing. Kyrie Thomas along with the 3. Johnson with the rebound. And Reginald last year averaged 15.5 points and 7 rebounds per game. And they come right down and score. Galen Reed, the 6'7" sophomore, with the bucket.
Well, Greg McDermott cannot be happy with the energy and the intensity from his Blue Jays to start things off. But quite a start from Alcorn State here.
And there is a whistle and a violation, but Montez Robinson is in his 3rd year, and he was the SWAC Coach of the Year last year, winning 13 games in their league. They did lose the tournament championship game by just 3 points to Texas Southern, 53-50, but he's done a marvelous job with the Braves.
Yeah, he's got a unique team. Reginald Johnson, with his size and skill set, is a matchup problem for a lot of teams.
Kyrie Thomas, bad miss, but Crumple there to pick it up. And Martin Crumple had a career-high 9 rebounds in his first career start on Friday.
He just was active, and Crumple just needs to think about doing the little things, the effort things, and things that go well for him.
I'll tell you, right early, Alcorn State is getting some good looks. Marcus Foster alley-oop, but a foul on the pass, so it'll be Creighton basketball. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, they'll keep it right down here. The Braves early, 2 or 3 point lead.
Alcorn State, Steve, is going to switch defenses. They're going to mix in some zone, some man, some three-quarter court pressure. And so Creighton's got to be able to identify these defenses without it impacting their pace.
That's great passing inside, but Hegner dropped the ball at his feet, and that allowed the defender to come in, and Allen's been able to steal it. But they say he stepped on the end line, so it will be Creighton basketball. I beg your pardon, it was a held ball situation, so Creighton gets it in the possession. And that's a travel by Mintz. And they're really being a little tighter with the traveling this year.
It's certainly always a point of emphasis in the first couple of weeks, and then it certainly seems to slow down as the season progresses.
Our keys to success are sponsored by SoFi, offering smart solutions to help you reach your financial goals.
Well, for Alcorn State, transition defense is going to be at a premium. Creighton electric in transition, and then for Creighton, point guard play. Got to push the pace, got to make good decisions, and as I alluded to, the switching defenses, got to be able to identify it and get your teammates in the right offensive look based on the defense.
Is that from the Department of Redundancy Department, with the transition defense being a key?
Every game,
Creighton?
right?
Every game.
You and I have the opportunity to do a lot of these games here at CenturyLink Center, and seemingly every opposing head coach that comes in here talks about one thing: transition defense. We got to get back. We got to get back. And Creighton is really good in the open floor, and they're extra good when they're at home.
They swing it left. Foster goes baseline. And no, great save by Mintz. And then Foster drains it from outside. He averaged 18 points per game. And that was the most by a Creighton newcomer in 49 years.
Alcorn State's got to be real careful about taking those quick shots in transition, because this is what can happen on the other end. They do not want to get into a track meet. And so sometimes you think about controlling pace. Oftentimes that means, Steve, you do it with your offense. Longer possessions. As you see the good play from Davion Mintz on the catch. And Marcus Foster, as long as he's patient against his zone, he's going to get a lot of rhythm three opportunities.
Who finished with just 1 point shy of his career high, 22 points on 10 of 12 shooting against Yale. Honorable mention, preseason All Big East. You're right, because he deserved higher than that.
That is a crime. The co-defensive player of the year, along with Mikal Bridges, extremely efficient offensively. He's better than just honorable mention.
And that ends a 7-0 Creighton run on that bucket. On the fish out, it goes to Thomas, who almost gets the bucket. Will wind up at the free throw line for 2 shots. But that's what you're talking about, how quickly they get the ball out, even on a made basket.
That's on an offensive rebound tip-in. And in about 4 seconds the other way, Kyrie Thomas is attacking the rim. It's just something that Greg McDermott preaches to his guys every day. You come to a Creighton practice, there is pace and purpose behind everything they do. Take a look at the clock. So in just, there it is, 26, 27, in 26 seconds, 4 seconds, Creighton is back down the floor shooting a layup.
Blue Jays buy a pair. Johnson, they have been unable to get that ball inside to him, and there's the steal by Davion Mintz. Hegner trying to post up on Devin Brewer, who's new into the game. Thomas misses the three, but Crumple with a good rebound. Foster with the fade. Yes!
He can make those shots. You might be watching thinking, boy, that's a tough shot. He likes that. He likes a little 17-foot step back. And so as a defender, you think you baited him into the right shot, but he's comfortable taking and making those looks.
Reginald Johnson, that's the kind of game he has. And even his coach, Robinson, told me, he said, you know, he's one of those guys, if you're playing in a pickup game, he might be the last guy you take. And then when the game gets going, you go, he's the best player out there.
Yeah, you don't want to judge the book by the cover with Johnson. That guy can play.
And here come the Braves. And a foul is called, and to the free throw line will be A.J. Mosby. We've got a timeout on the floor. 15:33 to play, first half. Creighton by 2. Big East College Hoops on FSN is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. And that's the Leahy Mall. I wonder if Lewis and Clark stopped by there on their way up the Missouri to have their expedition for Thomas Jefferson.
I assume, right? Stopped, got a steak, maybe watched the Creighton basketball game.
Exactly. And they'd be proud of Davion Mintz in his first start of 2017-18 season, as he had 5 assists and only 1 turnover. Creighton with a 2-point lead. Alcorn State lost to LSU on Friday night, 99-59. Long way to go in this one. But here is one of their 2 returning starters, A.J. Mosby. Last year averaged over 10 points per game. He was the only Brave to start every game, averaging 32 minutes per game.
He made 52 threes last year. He's a really good shooter, really good scorer. And it's interesting, a lot of Greg McDermott's fears with this game have kind of come to light in the first 4.5 minutes, where you're seeing a team that'll change defenses, 3/4 court press, and fall back to zone. Oftentimes, zone work, Steve, is something that gets pushed to kind of the back burner early on in the year. You want to get really good at your man-to-man sets. And so, Creighton going to see a lot of zone tonight.
Low action from Thomas to Hegner, but poor execution. Now a steal by Ronnie Harrell.
Harrell is an energy giver off the bench, as Creighton's been a little flat, a couple of 50-50 loose balls. Alcorn State's been able to get all of them.
Foster for 3.
Pin in screen against the bottom of the zone, and I don't think Foster has to hunt shots tonight. Again, he stays patient. He's going to get a lot of rhythm threes.
Down low, this is Brewer. And I believe he was shoved. Hegner can't believe it. Hegner is a very good low post one-on-one defender.
He is. Does a good job doing his work early, positioning. This is tough. I think defending in the post is one of the more difficult things to officiate, just because there's contact everywhere.
Steal, here comes Foster. Watch out.
Let's go, baby!
So Creighton with a 5-point lead after they trailed early by 5, and Mitch Ballack comes off the bench, the state player of the year in Kansas at Eudora High School. Brewer lost it out of bounds. But you're right about low post play. We were watching Hegner's defense. It didn't look like he fouled, but they are going to be really, really close, trying to create more offense this year.
Yeah, you want to reduce physicality, but it's almost impossible in the post for there not to be some bumping and grinding. And so I'm not totally sure what low post defense is supposed to look like in 2017. Because if that's a foul, you can almost call a foul in every single post-up situation.
Ballack long, but Hegner with the rebound and stick back.
Well, what's the hardest thing to do in a zone? It's rebound defensively, because you're not matched up with a man. You're in an area, and Hegner understands that. Watch him work to the weak side of the floor, or the ball, the opposite side of the floor, excuse me, where the ball's going to come off. Good stick back by Hegner.
Dante Sterling picks up his 2nd personal foul, so he must go to the sideline. Maurice Howard comes in the game, and Maurice is one of the top 6th men in the SWAC conference. It's a league that is expected to be won by Texas Southern, but Alcorn State will be right there with them. This is Maurice Howard outside for 3. We'd like to welcome those watching on FS1. It's Alcorn State against Creighton. The Braves got off to a 5-0 lead, but Creighton right now up by 5, and with the basketball, they get it inside to Manny Suarez, and Suarez battling for it himself, gets a couple of rebounds and lays it back in. He is going to be an interesting figure this year on the Creighton offense.
Yeah, with Justin Patton's departure to the NBA, there was a void in the interior for Creighton's roster, and Manny Suarez, a Division II transfer, comes in and is important.
There's another example.
Tough in the low post defense, but look at the energy and effort off the bench from Suarez, and he's crafty around the rim. He's probably Creighton's best back to the basket scorer, but he can also step back and shoot the three, so he is an interesting tool in the toolbox for Greg McDermott.
Yeah, he's a guy who transferred from Division II Adelphi University, where he averaged 17 points per game, and today is his 24th or 25th birthday. 24th?
24th. Let's hope so. 25 would be pretty old for a college basketball player.
I was just reading Rob Anderson's notes today, and then I just suddenly forgot. Manny is 24 today, officially.
There you go. Now, that's 2 personal fouls on Kyrie Thomas. So Kyrie might have to go to the bench here. A guy that seldom gets in foul trouble, even though he's a defensive stopper. Kind of a rough start for Mr. Thomas.
Tyjon Alexander comes in for Kyrie Thomas. Alexander, the talented freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, played at Oak Hill Academy, a prep team that won 37 games last year.
Really good high school Oak Hill is, so he's used to playing on national TV frequently. Greg McDermott called Tyjon Alexander a pleasant surprise so far.
Reginald Johnson from outside. Creighton's lead is cut to 5, and Alexander will take over at the point with Ballack off to the left wing and Foster on the right side. This is Harrell. Got it.
Against the 2-3 zone, you need someone that's comfortable at that high post area, passing and making plays, and Harrell is really good in that spot.
Way outside with the 3 is Maurice Howard, the 6'1 sophomore from Quincy, Florida.
How about this start from Alcorn State? Oftentimes in an environment like this, you want to just hang in there in the first 10 minutes. They've certainly done that.
Foster misses the 3. Ballack tried to tap it to himself, and instead claimed by Howard. Alcorn 3 of 4 from 3-point range, but missed that one from long range. And we've got a time under the 4th, Creighton by 4, and Greg McDermott with a little concerned look on his face. So long to our FS2 crowd. We're now on FS1. The Gavitt games are on FS1, the annual basketball showdown. The Big Ten. All the action tips off tomorrow as number 15 Minnesota visits Providence at 6:30 Eastern. Then on Tuesday, number 20 Purdue takes on Marquette at 8:30 Eastern. The Gavitt games tomorrow and Tuesday. FS1. Both Providence and Marquette won their first games. Providence won by almost 30 points, and they one of the stronger teams in the conference this year, but it's pretty strong 1 through 10.
Absolutely it is. And some good matchups. Dunkin' Donuts Center in Rhode Island, not an easy place to go get a win. Contrasting styles, Marquette and Purdue. You got Rousey and Howard perimeter for Marquette. You got Purdue, a team. Those will be fun matchups.
And by the way, congratulations to Patrick Ewing for winning his first game as the coach of Georgetown as they knocked off Jacksonville today, 73-57. Once again, too many turnovers for Creighton.
Yeah, Creighton's just been a little sloppy.
Johnson. The recovery picked up by Avery Patterson, who's able to take the shot but miss. And here goes Foster, baseline spinning, and then getting, I guess that's a charging foul on Marcus Foster. Foster just became the first Blue Jays to score 10+ points in 20 straight games since Doug McDermott did it in 28 straight. Oh, yeah.
Probably the right call. Foster a little out of control. Definitely Patterson. So foul, and Kyrie Thomas already on the bench with 2 personal fouls. So foul trouble could be interesting with the big guns. And Alcorn State already with 6 team fouls. So Creighton going to be in the bonus on the next foul.
No foul called on. Yes, I was waiting for it, and they finally blew the whistle. And Marcus Foster picks up his 2nd personal foul.
Be interesting to see the it has with playing those 2 wings with 2 personal fouls. Oftentimes, he's a guy that wants to see if he can survive with his top guns on the bench in foul trouble. And Foster and Thomas are guys, especially Foster. He's relentless attacking the rim. As you see, an offensive foul like that isn't out of the norm for him to get. So it's a tough spot for him, and I think it's the right move here to probably have Foster take a seat.
So they in 1 point right here if they can knock down the 3rd free throw attempt. Remember Utah Valley on Friday? They almost knocked off Kentucky. Creighton really seems out of sorts right now. Their rhythm, the way they've been breaking down the Alcorn defense.
And Alcorn State's zone. And so now you're going to have a couple of freshmen. A sophomore at point here. You see what the zone attack can look like. It's going to be after collective effort. The ball's really going to have to move.
Alley-oop to Krompel. Drops it, picks it back up. No foul call, but now there is a whistle and a foul called against the Braves.
It's a great look in the lob to Krompel. He just fumbled it. It's a great pass from Tyshawn Alexander, who's got really good vision. And every once in a while, you got to throw that pass. Those wings on the baseline start to creep up the floor. Make him pay it. Now Krompel will be at the free throw line.
And Allen picks up his 1st personal foul. So career games with 12 points and 9 rebounds, and his first career start on Friday included were 4 dunks.
That's Krompel's game. I mean, he's going to have to be a guy who does all the little things. Runs the floor hard, ball screen, roll to the rim, offensive rebounds, stick backs. Don't have to try and do too much, and you'll land your way into 10, 12 points.
Blue Jays by 3, nearing the halfway mark of the first half. And on the game now is Jawan Henderson, who is 5 feet 5 inches tall, maybe 5 feet 6. And he's a point guard that Montez Robinson had a lot of kind words to say. He's been with the program. He's an energy guy, but one of the smaller players in college. Meantime, Johnson picks up his 2nd personal foul.
On a little duck in there, got a little too physical.
And there's the steal by Henderson. And he'll take it off. Missed the shot. Ballack rebounds. Opportunity for. They've got numbers. Ballack on the drive, kicks it off, and we're going the other way. Another foul on the Blue Jays.
Offensive foul number 24, Mitch Ballack, his first.
Heck of a job by Alcorn State protecting the rim by taking charges. Looks like it was the right call. Was definitely out of the restricted area. Ballack a smidge out of control. So that's 2 charges taken by Alcorn State. So somewhat slowed down your willingness to attack the rim.
In the future, what would you like to see Mitch Ballack do?
Come to a 2-foot jump stop under control. Come to a 2-foot jump stop, then make your decision, especially if you can feel you're going to make the pass.
Alcorn misses the shot. Rebounding is Carter. Throws it away to Ballack. Tyler Clement in the game. Harrell, he got knocked in the head. So Ronnie will be at the free throw line for shots. Last year, Creighton won 25 games, finished tied for 3rd in the Big East.
I just think this guy is such an interesting piece for Greg McDermott. 6'7", playing the 4 spot. He's got point guards. He was running the point for the majority of Creighton's NCAA tournament. Lost to Rhode Island. But at that 4 spot, you can have him push it on the break, come off ball screens, make plays. As long as he can hang in there defensively and on the glass, it's a matchup issue.
They said he was a point guard at Denver East High School and then went through a growth spurt and all of a sudden wound up being a forward in college game.
Especially given the way that Creighton plays.
Carter on the drive. Partially blocked by Crumple. Mintz. Well, he got bumped on the drive. Both teams very aggressive.
I've been somewhat surprised at how much Alcorn State's been willing to push it and play fast in transition. And once again, you know Creighton's going to look to get it up the floor. Really love to advance it on the wings because that creates driving opportunities when the defense isn't quite set. And Davion Mintz, understanding that Creighton's in the bonus, just go attack the rim.
Mintz had 8 points in the opener. He had 8 total points in the first 9 games of his freshman year last season, and of course wound up starting much of the tail end because of the injury to Maurice Watson.
There's no question that he gained valuable experience there for the final month and a half of the season, having to almost run the show night in and night out for a team that had a lot on the line going to the NCAA tournament.
Good interior passing by Alcorn State. Carter knocks down the 2 to cut the lead to 4. Henderson picks up the loose basketball. Here comes Carter the other way, and a travel call on Tyler Carter. Well, that has been one of the rule changes this year. No more tiny hop, particularly in the post adjusting their feet, but also that tiny hop perhaps we saw there as he grabbed the basketball before he put it to the floor. Something you did not see called last year, and you never see called in the NBA. Ballack, he hits.
Zone possession there. Ball moved from side to side. Eventually got it right into the middle of the floor, and there's so many options. Pitch out 3.
Even though he's a freshman, to Ballack and Hegner against that zone defense.
Yes, just because they're zone busters and they can do some different things attacking it. But you got to like how they're able to stretch the defense and knock down some threes, because at the end of the day, it's what you have to do against the zone.
And Hegner picks up his 2nd personal foul. So you have Foster with 2, Thomas with 2, and now Hegner with 2, and you've got 3 Braves with 2 fouls apiece.
It's been a clunky, disjointed game. A lot of turnovers, a lot of fouls. Been 18 total fouls. And that really affects a team like Creighton. They're a team that likes to get the game going fast. And when there's a lot of stoppages, they have a tough time finding their mojo.
Hey, straight in, 1 time.
Watch the 5'5" Henderson attack the glass if they miss it. Look at him. He's great.
Boy, that is equally impressive as it is embarrassing for Creighton.
And we're going Creighton's way. What was the violation? Away from the basket. And they're saying it's Devin Brewer with an illegal screen. And boy, the officials, maybe they're in the preseason mode as well. Creighton by 6. Let's go inside. Greg McDermott.
The little things are how they matter. Pass fake, shot fake. And when we cut with a purpose. We don't jog. Okay? When it's touched the high post, good things have happened. You can also touch the short corner.
There's no doubt the little things have done at a high level here in the first 12 minutes of this game for Creighton. There's been 9 turnovers, 8 fouls, handful of prominent players in foul trouble, and there's been of fouls called already, and oftentimes that's just self-inflicted with not paying attention to where you're going. But Creighton's Got to get things going a little bit here.
We talked about two things you also talked about, the jump stop and also the guy in the middle, that high post against the zone.
Yeah, right at that Big E spot. Need to get someone a touch right in the middle of that zone because it collapsed the defense.
And Ronnie Harrell is the guy in that high spot. Davion Mintz goes deep. That's a 2. They say he was inside the arc. Henderson looking for. Maurice Howard gets it back to Henderson.
Be interesting to see how Creighton can fare with Foster and Thomas, each with 2 personal fouls. Those are the 2 big guns. Has to do a lot for Creighton. So it's a big opportunity for some of these role players to step up.
Creighton has their biggest lead at 8 points at 33-25, and they have a deeper bench. They're still considering the young man in the middle of that last shot, redshirting Jacob Epperson, a 6'11" freshman from Melbourne.
Situations that Kyrie Thomas and Marcus Foster are in. You can't get caught up into your own world. Yes, you're in foul trouble. Things happen, but this is where you have to be a leader. Your teammates staying engaged and locked in, because you know in here in a couple of minutes you might get asked to come in for a minute or 2, and then you got to be ready to stay locked in for the half.
And locked in is the key, because you know every single game in conference play in the Big East, you better be locked in, because that one moment may cost you a game. Tyler Clement takes the long rebound. Harrell, middle of the floor. Ballot, no. Rebound, Krompel. And then, instead of taking it back up, he looked for a cutter, couldn't find one, and had it ripped from his hands.
He brought it low. Steve, that's what you can't do. Big men, you got to chin it, keep it high. When you bring it low, that's when those little pesky guards can get a piece of it. And so that's a mistake.
.620 to play in the first half. Shot clock. Carter spinning and hasn't stolen by.
It's a good opportunity for these guys, the role players. For Alcorn State, as it's slowly getting away from Alcorn State.
I think they're making fun of him for not dunking it.
Hey, I don't got room to talk.
Creighton beginning to pull away with a 7-point lead, and Montez Robinson, knowing the game can get away from it. It certainly did in Baton Rouge the other day, playing LSU and losing by 40. There's Mitch Ballack.
There's no sense in sitting on your timeouts and having them all 25 points at the end of the game. If you can sense a run coming when you're on the road, absolutely call your timeout. I like the decision from Coach Robinson there, and we'll see if he can manufacture a high percentage look for one of his breaks.
He's done a great job at Alcorn State. 26 wins the last 3 years in conference play. Here's the coach. Working. Krompel with the defense on Reed. Shot clock down to 5. Allen will take the shot. Badly, and looked like a Brave just shoved. And a personal foul. We've seen a lot of fouls early in this game. First on Reed.
There's been a lot of whistles. There's been fouls called in this first half. And so Krompel will go back to the line here.
Krompel, a 6'9" sophomore from. He has been a 2-time all academic performer. Missed them both. Patterson with Ballack on him. And Ballack went behind, slapped the ball away, but possibly got part of the arm. And the officials blowing their whistle on just about every single physical contact.
Said he got him in the face. That's what the ref was pointing, that the slap got him in the face. I didn't see that at all. It looked like it was all ball. But sometimes, Steve, it's more of, if you make demonstrative swings of the arm, it gives the appearance like there's contact. You can make a little poke at the ball, but don't have to swing it quite so blatantly.
Yeah, it's almost like a center going through with his shot block rather than just keep his
no doubt
hand tall. Players on each side with 2 fouls. Ballack just picked up his second personal foul. Harrell has it knocked free. Back, swings it to Mintz, and he on the shot and has a chance for a four.
I love the awareness of Martin Krampel. So many big guys don't have an understanding of where shooters are. Look how quickly he gets it right to Mintz, understands where the shooter is, and that an Alcorn State Braves going to be closing quick. Great play from Krampel, and obviously Mintz drills the triple.
Creighton with their biggest lead of 14 points, 40-26.
Isn't that amazing? You feel like Creighton's been sloppy and they got 40 points.
Carter inside, knocks it down. A chance for a three-point play.
You hear Greg McDermott talking about the little things. You know, the little thing off of a free throw, understanding who you have. That's stuff you got to be talking during the free throw. And Creighton pays the price.
Carter can cut it to 11. Mintz will run the point. Krampel goes down low now. Looks to set a screen. Tyler Clement on the drive. Knocks them winding, and he'll wind up at the free throw line for a couple. But Alcorn State with very good defensive awareness, because it seemed like Creighton was moving the ball quickly around that zone. My goodness, every time they got it, the defender was right in their face.
And that's what you have to do. Scramble, be able to communicate, be able to trust that your teammate will next open man. But on Creighton obviously was just a step ahead. And it's a nice luxury when you can turn to a walk-on like Tyler Clement when you have your guys in foul trouble. You need someone to calm everybody moving. That's what Greg McDermott loves about number 11 in white.
25 fouls have been called in this first half. He's only played 15 minutes. Violation.
Good show from Martin Krampel on those staggered screens. And your man said the last screen, to just show your body out there a little bit. And that just threw Alcorn State's rhythm off enough to force the travel.
Braves with 11 turnovers. Creighton with made 11 in the entire game in their victory over Yale on Friday. Not been as smooth tonight. Mintz alley-oop to Harrell, but then it hit the underside of the iron and bounced straight to Krampel. So the Blue Jay basketball. Tyler Clement will inbound it. Shot clock down to 6. And what do we have? That's the turnover in the first half by the Blue Jays, and Greg McDermott beside himself. Tough first. Coming up on the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report, Greg Wolf will take a look at other games today in the Big East, and we'll also look at first half highlights and stats from here in Omaha. That's coming up on the Jeep Cherokee halftime report. Seton Hall and both won earlier today as Angel Delgado did his thing as he went for another double-double, 17 points, 11 rebounds by 10 over Monmouth. Here it's Creighton beginning to pull away, but it has not been an attractive first half for either team. 42-28. Been harder getting ready to inbound.
Total fouls, 21. Sometimes it's your typical early basketball game where both teams still a little bit sloppy. Creighton looking to finish the half strong here.
Alcorn started 7 of 13, but 2 of 11 since. And they missed this shot. That's a nice rebound by Harrell. Good hustle rebound, and Minch or gets it to Ronnie. Swing it back. Alexander.
Get Harrell a touch right in the middle of that zone.
Alexander not looking for his shot at all.
Another turnover, and it's something that Greg McDermott was concerned about. We asked what his top concern tonight was. It was just the attack in the zone. So we just haven't had enough opportunities in practice to work against the zone. So our zone great. 12 turnovers. A lot of that is just a result of being a little bit sloppy attacking the 2-3.
Cuts the lead to 13. Back in the game comes Crosby for Reginald Johnson, and I'm sure they want to keep Johnson out so he doesn't pick up that third personal foul.
Really important 3 minutes and 24 seconds for Alcorn State. As they're off to a good start. Things kind of got away from them here, but if they can finish the final 3 minutes strong, some momentum going into half. That's huge.
Mintz with the screen. Harrell drops it off to Crosby. A beautiful pass inside, and Team flips it in backhanded.
Just a beautiful set to get Harrell in the middle of the and put the backside defense in a predicament where you either got to help out at the three-point line or at the rim. And a nice read from Harrell and Crumple with the finish. But that's where that guy right there, his versatility and playmaking at the power forward spot, and in particular at the high post of the zone, is great.
Yeah, you've got a point guard at the high post of the zone, much like UCLA had so many good passing centers in the past.
Yeah, good big men passers are just lethal in basketball. And Harrell is just that.
Now there is another whistle, another foul. This time Avery Patterson will go to the free throw line. Well, at least the officials were able to blow the rust out of their whistles after that long off season. And here is Avery Patterson, a 6'2" senior from Georgia, went to Wheeler High School. They were the 6A state champions with him.
Returning for the Braves, number 10.
And he transferred from Columbia State and Western Kentucky University. Started at Western Kentucky, then went to Columbia State Junior College, and then on to Alcorn State. Well in the middle of that zone. Back out top. They get him to the middle. Tyler misses the three. Crumple punches it out to mid. Can't get it to ball. Gets it back. Alexander with the mid-range jumper. That's no good.
Those are good high percentage looks, just not going down. Good activity in the offensive glass.
And I think offensively they're trying to slow down the Creighton offense. This half court. Terrible pass by Patterson, who throws it away right into the teeth of the deep. Prompt will cross his timeline, and Alexander now gets it back to Tyler. There's another travel.
Tough. Talked about it earlier. It's a point of emphasis, trying to take away the little hop. That was close.
But you don't want to take away the flow of the offense. Made all these rules changes to favor the offense.
You don't want to ever sacrifice the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
But you got to call it. If something's a violation, you got to call it. It's a predicament that the officials find themselves in.
Maurice Howard back in, backing it out. He's the point. Defended by Harrell. Howard flips it up. Short. Alexander. Oh, and he took it right in. And that's exactly what Greg McDermott was talking during that one timeout. Fellas, we've got the jump stop, and then you kick it to the corner.
Yeah, you got to come to a 2-foot jump stop, and when you jump and lean, bad things happen. And in a lot of different ways, Alexander didn't have numbers there. You know, you're pushing it 1-on-2. You got Mintz in the corner. You either need to give it up early, or you need to just stop and wait for your running mates to come help you out.
Manny Suarez back in, number 44. Big center for Creighton. Defending Reginald Johnson, who's back in. Johnson looking to take Suarez. Leans in and gets the floater.
That's something I think Alcorn State needs to come to more often. Getting Johnson the ball at about that 16-foot area and letting him attack the Creighton bigs.
Now Caleb Joseph in the game. And Caleb, you got. I'm not sure that's the shot that Coach McDermott wanted.
Coming right off the bench, the first mid-range pull-up you see.
The second personal foul. To the free throw line shooting two is number 14, Caleb Joseph, for the Bluejays.
So Joseph, who's the transfer from Syracuse, had 30 starts for the Orangemen and had 131 assists in 2 years, and then transferred, sat out last year. Unfortunately, he's had problems early in this campaign.
But he's experienced, and that's always good. I mean, he started every game at Syracuse as a freshman, so you know he's a little bit battle-tested. And that point guard spot is a big question mark for this Creighton team.
Mosby misses the long three. Rebounding is Patterson. He'll miss it badly. Carter fights for it and then kicks it out to Johnson, who knocks down the three.
A lot of 50-50 loose balls have got. Got to credit the Braves for coming into the CenturyLink Center and playing with some energy and effort.
Mintz defended by Patterson. Suarez. Got it!
What a beauty. Shoot the three a little bit, and a little head and shoulder fake. Gets Johnson leaning a little bit. And how about the body control from the big fella? And the soft touch finish to the half that was a little bit of a clunker for the Blue Jays.
Well, a lot of fouls called in the first half. Several turnovers. Right now it's Creighton 49, Alcorn 6 at the break. Let's go, baby! Creighton with a 49-36 lead over Alcorn State. We are at the half. Steve Physiak along with Nick Baugh, who was anything but a smooth first half, as they had 31 fouls, 26 turnovers, stoppage of play, and you need a good point guard. And Davion Mintz, who's a sophomore learning that position, he had to play two positions, the 1 and the 2 in that first half.
Yeah, Khyri Thomas, the two leading scorers for this Blue Jay team. Mintz had to put his foot on the gas to score a little bit in that first half. And zone clearly bothered the Blue Jays. But when they were able to move the ball, they were able to knock down some deep two for Davion Mintz with the shot clock winding down. And this was a big play to get a 4-point play. Good pass from Martin Krampel, and Mintz drills the 3 and 1 and got the free throw to go down. So in a somewhat sloppy first half, the one spot was Davion Mintz.
Those are your Jeep highlights. Creighton by 13. We'll be back for the second half right after this. 49-36, Creighton leading Alcorn State at the half. Here are your Jeep Grand Cherokee first half stats. Creighton shoots 50%, scores 49 points. And yet you go, we haven't seen Creighton at their best.
No, not at all. 14 turnovers in that first half, and also never really were able to get out in the open floor and get in transition because there were so many fouls called in that first. Clearly bothered Creighton from Alcorn State, and now we'll see how Marcus Foster and Kyrie Thomas can get into a rhythm. Both saddled with 2 personal fouls and had to sit for the better part of the final 10 minutes of the first half.
A.J. Mosby, he'll get the start in the second half, even though he was one of the Braves in foul trouble. Avery Patterson out there, Reginald Johnson, number 24. They need to really get that offense through Reginald Johnson. He's their offensive star. And it is Mintz, Hegner, Thomas, Foster, and Krampel getting the start for Creighton in the second half. Johnson from downtown.
The 3. He's comfortable knocking down threes, and his size, don't let it fool you. He can score from all 3 levels.
You know, if I'm one of the other 4 players, I'm saying, you know what, this might be Reginald's night. I got to have him touch the ball at least once every time down the floor.
And that's what smart teammates can do. They can sense when their stud's got the hot hand or when you need your stud to get going. And Johnson's the guys that has to lead the way for Alcorn State.
Foster knocks down a
Marcus Foster.
Foster only played 11 minutes in that 10 points. He just got 2 personal fouls and had to sit down. You feel like Foster's in a pretty good rhythm despite being in foul trouble.
Now that was Avery Patterson.
Johnson trailing the play. That's from NBA range. Got his feet under him, good balance, knocked it down. Bench loves it.
So Mintz back at the point. Being defended by Mosby. Krampel with the screen. Kyrie Thomas, we haven't said his name that much offensively. Rebound Krampel, and that's a new career high for Martin. His 10th. He had 9 in the first half. A bad pass and a steal.
Tough one.
Free throw line will be A.J. Mosby as Thomas picks up his 3rd personal foul. Kyrie, who's coming off a 22-point game, was 0 for 3 in the first half, missed his first shot of the second half.
Boy, that's a tough one. And Kyrie Thomas pleading his case, saying that my hands didn't come down. Thomas did go straight up. Just been a rough night for Kyrie Thomas as Mitch Ballack set the check-in first table for him.
Kyrie is frustrated. And they're warning Greg McDermott to stay in the coaching box. They've extended it a bit this year, but that's one of the rule changes. Coaches have they must stay in that coaching box. With Foster or Thomas on the floor, Creighton only led by 1 point, 23-22 when they went out. The Braves 26-14.
That switching defenses, mixing in some 3/4 court pressure, has just gotten Creighton out of sync enough to be able to cause some turnovers and then turn those turnovers into points.
Need Mintz to really run the offense well. Try and get Creighton's offense into a rhythm. They've got Ballack in the game. He's an excellent outside shooter. They actually have 5 players drill that 3. move the ball against that defense, as Foster will be at the free throw line.
Foster needs to look to be aggressive, taking bad shots. You can sense that his team just hasn't really had it, and there are various ways you can get your team going. You can try and make shots for others, and then also you can try and get going yourself. Foster is a guy that can fill it up quickly. I think you're going to start to see him put his foot on the gas here.
He now has 15 points. Creighton back to a double-figure lead, 54-43. Brewers setting screens. Through. Johnson with the miss, and there's Crumple with his 11th rebound. There's that good jump stop by Ballack that time, and he allows an opportunity for Hegner, who misses the three-pointer. That's a blocking foul.
That's probably the right call. Pretty good attack. A little inside out, and Crumple is. There was contact.
First foul on Martin Crumple.
And Creighton, again, is a team that hangs their hat on getting into transition. Run when you're always letting your opponent shoot. Or you're turning the ball over. There's been a lot of dead balls. There's been a lot of free throw opportunities. So Creighton has not been able to sink their teeth into Alcorn State in the open floor.
We had an incredible 57 stoppages in the first half alone. 31 fouls, 26 turnovers. Back in Maurice Howard, the top sixth man, and Prince.
And you, it's a good point. The point guard situation, in situations like this, it reveals itself. You really need to have a point guard be able to settle everybody down and get people executing. As you see Ballack come off the screen and knock down a nice mid-range jumper.
Mintz came from behind defensively, and they have to swing it back outside. Johnson on the drive. Here comes Foster. Watch out. Creighton loves to run, and Marcus had got fouled from behind by Dante Sterling. That's his third personal foul.
You're so much better when you're back tapping from behind to swipe with your hand, not down. It's a little tougher for the officials to see. You see there, Sterling just swiped down emphatically, and if you'd gone up, I think you'd have gotten a clean steal.
So Allen comes down, and here is Mintz back out to execute this offense. Foster for a three. Give him 18. He's played about 15 minutes.
He's been really efficient.
We had a foul called away from the basketball down low on Marcus Foster. Well, he averaged 18 last year, and he's got 18 tonight. Big East College Hoops on FS1 is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Steve Physiok, Nick Baugh with you. Alcorn State, Steve McNair, great quarterback in his 13-year NFL career. Great wide receiver is one for the Green Bay Packers, and one of the best rebounders I ever saw. Larry Smith of the Golden State Warriors. I broadcast the Warriors when Larry was their forward, and there's Larry Bird defending him. But you talk about a guy that when the ball came off that cylinder and he was close to it, it was.
There's nothing quite like watching a great rebounder who feels like every single ball coming off the rim is going to be theirs. And a lot of different ways to do it. You can be a great jumper. You can have a great motor. You can be big, strong.
And he is the athletic development director at Alcorn State. But 8,100 rebounds in his NBA career. I think that's still in the top 60. He didn't start that often. I mean, and he have 5 rebounds in 3 minutes. But it's a great program, and Montez Robinson has done a great job. He loves the community in Norman, Mississippi. I want the kids to buy into family, and that's the community we live in. The community, the students love our basketball team, and they will be one of the better teams in the SWAC conference this year, along with Texas Southern University, and Jackson State, along with Alcorn State, the top 4 in that league. Henderson back in the game. 12. There's a steal by Bollock, and Bollock Marcus Foster grinned at him like, you laid it up last time.
It's another open floor layup for Mitch Ballock, who's going to be a really important piece for Creighton this season. He's the perfect fit for the Blue Jays with his feel and his ability to shoot. And you see the anticipation running through the passing lane, perfect form, inside hand, and then buddies in the locker room saying, I could go throw it down.
And is that what you're talking about? Because he almost recognized the ball was going to come back to the center.
Yeah, oftentimes people think feel is just about offense, but oftentimes feel can reveal itself on defense as well. Anticipating, reading, reacting, and you can see that Ballock's got a good sense away from the basketball, anticipating.
One of the best players I ever saw with great defensive feel is now a coach in the Big East Conference in St. John's, Chris Mullen.
Yeah.
The best team defenders I saw in the NBA, and he's doing a fine job. St. John's moving up in our Big East Conference.
There was a 2-on-2 tournament with in each conference. I like the Big East chances with Ewing and Mullen to win that one.
Oh, Foster! Man, he's got some quick hops.
Yeah, he really explodes when he finishes at the 10.
Mintz almost had the steal. Creighton a little more active on their man-to-man defense. Allen almost forced it up. Promptly found his 12th on the night. Boy, Greg McKinnon's that.
Boy, look at Marcus Foster. He's knocked out a couple dribbles. There, a little hesitation, change speeds to get all the way to the basket. Look at him kind of stop, then explode, and then finish with authority at the rack. In a game that's been a little bit sloppy and hard on the eyes, Foster's having himself quite a night. 18 points, 6 of 7 from the floor.
You know, thinking about your comment about the coaches in the Big East Conference, Greg McDermott was a heck of a player.
Yep.
Chris Mack at Xavier.
Steve Wojciechowski.
Yep, there we go.
He's going to be getting you a little bit. Well, Jordan.
Well, this kid is going to be a difference maker, and this is only his second college game.
His body language is that of a junior or senior. He doesn't carry himself like a freshman. He understands what he's supposed to do. He's confident. Greg McDermott absolutely raves about Mitch Ballock.
Hegner grabs the miss. Foster. Clement knocks it down. This is their biggest lead of the night. Creighton by 16.
Finally got in the open floor. Pushing it a little bit. And a great Foster. Pushing it in transition and kicking it.
Go to math class because the lead is 26. I said 16. I beg your pardon, Professor. I'll go back to class. If you're going to play for the Creighton Blue Jays, you better be able to run and you better be able to shoot the three-pointer.
Absolutely, and that's why this guy right here, Mitch Ballock, is a perfect fit for the Blue Jays. He loves to let it fly from beyond the arc. And how about the play from Marcus Foster? Finds his running mate Tyler Clement from the corner, getting loose in transition, and they've extended this lead.
They have made 8 three-pointers on the night in 18 attempts, shooting 55% from the floor on the game. They shot 61% in their victory over Yale. And Alcorn State short with a lot of their shots now. They might be tiring. They've had 2 tough games on the road at LSU and now. Ballack knocks it down.
Beauty. Shot ready. Clement, Ballack. Nice little two-man game. Clement knew exactly where he wanted to get the ball to. And Mitch Ballack is going to be a really good player here at Creighton.
He has 15 points. This was a guy, his high school player of the year, averaged almost 25 points per.
Turned down an offer from Kansas.
But could this offense be more suited to his?
I think that was the prevailing reason why Ballack ultimately chose Creighton. He loved watching Doug McDermott's teams play a couple years ago and felt like a good fit for him.
Oh, man. Well, that was a range shot.
That was from Eudora, Kansas, right there.
Exactly. Oh, nice move and finish for Tremaine Crosby, the 6'4" freshman from Laurel, Mississippi, low campus. Marcus Foster goes deep. You know, I thought he had a quiet 23 on Friday, and now he's got a quiet 24.
The guy can flat out score. 18 a game, first team all-conference last year. He knows how to fill it up, and you also talk about perfect fits for that mantra of letting it fly. Foster can do just that.
Time out of the floor. Creighton 77, Alcorn State 47. Creighton by 30. Let's again go into Greg McDermott's huddle.
Into there as easy as. All right, we got to fight the dribble. We got to fight the post catch. At 24, we're fire on him. Okay.
But it's going to be imperative for Creighton to start to put some teeth in their defense so they could get out and run, and that's what they've been able to do. Alcorn State to 35% shooting from the floor in this half, 11 points, and that's allowed Creighton to start to go on a run here. And so it's a good attention to detail coaching point from Greg McDermott, eliminating the post touches.
A 23-2 run the last 5 minutes.
Levy's broke quick.
Crosby, I told you, grew up just an hour from Alcorn State campus. Back-to-back state champion, Laurel, Mississippi. Tyshawn Alexander back at the point. Ronnie Harrell off the bench. Hegner. Kyrie Thomas back in, and Mitch Ballack.
Really important final for Tyshawn Alexander. He's got to get comfortable, run the show. I think he's going to be an important piece for Creighton down the stretch.
Ballack kicked off to Kyrie Thomas in the corner. And Thomas not scored, and we're going the other way. As looked like Hegner may have knocked down Reginald Johnson. And Toby had a discussion in front of us with the officials talking about how can I defend down in the post, because quite frankly, calls that were, I really believe, because the officials received instruction from the NCAA with some rules changes in the offseason.
And Toby Hegner, that's what you have to do. If you come to the officials,
and
you're going to get an answer. And he absolutely did that. And they had a nice dialogue at halftime, and that's all you answers if you're truthfully not understanding what you did.
There is Johnson missing the shot. Harrell rebounding. Alexander looking for a screen. Johnson flashes out defensively. Somebody's played by Alexander because he recognized Johnson left his man to double him, and he immediately went to that low block.
Well, he did a little eye manipulation. See how he looked like he was going back to the wing and then fired it back in the middle. Watch the eye manipulation. It looks like he's going back to the wing. Then a bullet pass down low. Good catch by Hegner. But those are the basketball feel plays that have this coaching staff drooling a little bit over Tyshawn Alexander.
I have worked 42 years broadcasting college basketball, and I have never had an analyst manipulation.
And Steve, or bad, but we'll just leave it at that.
That was a great comment. Here's Manny Suarez. You're the best.
Maybe I'm in football mode, I guess, right? Thinking about quarterbacks.
You know, usually one gets eye manipulation when you say a bad joke in front of your wife and she rolls her eyes. That's eye manipulation.
That's very true. But if not, apparently there's two. There's what Tyshawn Alexander did, and there's that.
Now it's Patterson being defended by Alexander. And he knocks down the three. A beautiful fade shot. 22 feet out. Alexander dribble drive penetration and gets fouled.
Foul number 1, Avery Patterson, his second personal foul. Team 7, the Blue Jays.
Sports is proud to team up with Snowball Express and their commitment to hope and new happy memories to the children of our fallen heroes while on active duty. 11. Snowball Express provides an annual event to make each child feel special as we remember the lives of their parents. We remember. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn how you can help. Sean Alexander at the free throw line. Creighton by 31. 10-minute mark of the second half.
These are for Alexander, Joseph, and Suarez to get comfortable at this Division I level at Creighton.
Good side by Suarez. And Suarez gets 2 blocks. That was good defense.
Very good. Did it without fouling.
Alexander short with the 3. And Thomas tried to come off the weak side and has it go out of bounds.
So Suarez, look at him doing a good job anticipating it, going to the opposite side for the block. That's a good bit of post defense from Suarez, who does biggest vertical leap in the world, but he's got pretty long arms. You got a mismatch. Johnson.
And Sterling with a forced shot. Johnson, though, gets it right back.
The mismatch revealed itself one way or another. Johnson with Joseph on him was able to get the offensive rebound.
Sander split the defense.
And it's going to take some time for Alexander. He played the 2 guard last year at Oak Hill, and now they're asking him to play a little more point guard, so he's having to figure out ways he can get comfortable in this offense.
This is more pace.
Yeah, it is.
Kyrie Thomas with his first points of the night.
Pretty good luxury when one of your best players can have just a rough night with foul trouble and you're still sitting with 87 points with 8 minutes and change to go.
And that was his first field goal of the night. I should say he does have 4 free throws. Once again, Suarez seeing him off defensively well. Patterson, though, flips it off the glass. Good. Ronnie Harrell
for 3.
If he can hit that shot, good luck trying to guard him, because now you're going to have to close the airspace a little bit. And again, he's guard skills at the power forward spot.
Is their 12th three-pointer. They're 12 for 24 tonight from three-point range, and that was after starting 4 for 13.
And Creighton settled in nicely in the second half offensively.
Brewer with his back to the basket knocks it down, and Alcorn State cuts it to 90-57. Joseph has some explosiveness, even though playing on little wimpy or gippy hamstrings.
Yeah, that would look good. That was even off of a made basket, being able to push it and score. That was nice from Caleb Joseph. And this is important minutes for the coaching staff to evaluate a guy like Joseph because of that bad hamstring. Hasn't been a lot of opportunities in practice to show what he can do. See, this is Harrell. This is the four-man making a play.
Apparently, Joseph was out of bounds when he accepted the basketball, so time out of the floor. Kyrie Thomas, his first field goal. Creighton by plenty. Stay with us on FS1. Great game coming up. There's Jill Ellis, the coach of the U.S. women's soccer team. And, of course, their all-star, Alex Morgan, on the left. U.S. will play Canada, and that is coming your way next on FS1. Creighton, meantime, with a huge 92-57 lead over all. Steve Fiziak, Nick Baugh with.
Keep in mind here in the final 6.5 minutes is Alcorn State plays at Northern Iowa tomorrow night. So you wonder if Coach Robinson will start thinking about managing some legs and some energy, as played at LSU on Friday to Omaha, and you have to play a back-to-back game. You have to manage some legs so you're ready to go against the Panthers.
Yeah, they were disappointed with their play at LSU, and then they fly to Omaha, practice, play against their very great Creighton team. And much like Utah Valley, who played out of their minds against Kentucky, had a lead in the second half but lost by 10, and then that energy just wasn't there when they got blasted by Duke the next night.
I mean, back-to-backs are hard when you're having to travel. Gives you an appreciation for what the NBA guys are able to do. And sometimes you hear the joke, oh, they don't play any defense, they don't try. Well, listen, 82 games, you're playing back-to-backs, you're flying across the country. It's challenging.
A.J. Mosby will be one of the top players in the SWAC this year.
Now, I know the score wouldn't indicate it, but I like the mindset Alcorn State had coming into this environment. You could tell some people, you do enough of these games, just happy to be here and want to go down the floor, not really compete. They've come in here with the right mindset. It just has gotten away from them here in this second half.
Yeah, practice today, we have a blood, sweat, and tears mentality. We want to be organized chaos. They have that on their T-shirts, and I said, well, that sounds like Nolan Richardson with his 40 minutes of hell years ago. And he not quite like that. We don't have those kinds of athletes, but he said we want to make it as difficult as possible because there's some very fine teams in the SWAC this year.
Well, something I'm always interested in situations like this is, where do you draw the line on doing what's best to win this game? What you do as a program and establishing that. Alcorn State's going to play a certain style, and that's playing fast and aggressive. And even though that might not make sense, that mentality.
Burrell misses the three, but Alexander gets that miss. You're exactly right, because when you are a State, you usually are playing a lot of tough schools in your non-conference play. I mean, they won 13 games last year in the conference and 18 total on the season. So only 5. They're playing toughies like they've done this year. LSU, Creighton, at Northern Iowa tomorrow. Manny Suarez with a 3, and that's that another stretch 5 guy you've got on the floor.
How tough is that? Creighton putting 5 guys on the floor that can shoot the 3, and they're confident in Suarez's ability to shoot the 3. Now, they want him to take the right ones, but he'll let him fly. But then he can also do this.
And Alexander knocks it down from long range.
Nice little sequence from Suarez. You see the both sides of it. He can knock down a 3, then he's able to catch it, shot fake, put it on the deck, be under control, and find Suarez, or excuse me, Tyshawn Alexander for the 3. He's an important piece for Creighton this year.
And all of the things that Greg McDermott did not see in the first half, obviously he straightened out at halftime, because the guys he wanted to see look strong, like Suarez and Ballack and Alexander, have played well in the second half. And there is, what are they going to call that, a charge or a block? It looks like a block. Alcorn State also has Baylor November 17th. They're at Iowa State December 10th. They're at Vanderbilt December 22nd. So they have another very aggressive non-conference schedule this year.
And it's always make sure that you're keeping your guys confident up when they're losing some of these games. And that's a challenging aspect of this thing for Coach Robinson as well.
Creighton with their first 100-point effort since January 14th of 2017 against Truman State.
Well, it is amazing. I think that it felt like Creighton was totally out of sync, totally disjointed, turned the ball all over all over the place, and here they are with 100 points with 4 minutes to go. Just goes to show when Creighton is not kicking it around, they're really electric scoring the rock.
Scurry in the game now, number 12 out at the point, defending Maurice Howard. Carter will take the three and miss short. Inside of 4 minutes to play. Alexander misses and Alcorn State the other way. Creighton will be on the road to Northwestern.
Really good matchup. As Northwestern obviously coming off their first NCAA tournament win last season. In return, the good group, McIntosh, Law, Pardon, they are going to team the Big Ten.
This is his first opportunity. Yeah, the Big East Conference going to be very strong again, led by Villanova, a 32-win team last year, as one of the top point guards in the nation back in Jalen Brunson.
And the guys like Dante DiVincenzo, Mikal Bridges are just getting a year older. The name to remember is Omari Spellman. Wasn't eligible last year, but he is a really talented that's going to be a huge part of Jay Wright's season this year.
And there's a foul on Scurry. Time out on the floor. Creighton 102. Alcorn State 63. Stay with us because on FS1 next, the U.S. women's national soccer team back in action. Team USA is #1 in the world and takes on longtime rival Canada in a friendly. All the action kicks off next on FS1. Pre-game coverage has already started on FS2. Kick to start the game 20 minutes after the hour, but pre-game coverage is going on right now. Tyler Carter at the free throw line, the 6'7" from Houston, Texas. Makes the first free throw. I wonder if he's a Yankee fan. He went to Steinbrenner High School in Houston.
So that's probably a prerequisite to be able to enroll in Steinbrenner High School. Right?
Reginald Johnson will come back in, even though there's 2.5 minutes left in the game. Reginald got in early foul trouble. And a lot of the Braves got an early foul. Rested for Northern Iowa tomorrow night. And that went through the legs of Alexander. A pass right at the feet.
Yeah. It's a little errant from Jordan Scurry.
You know, we were touching up this game getting out of hand about the Big East Conference. You and I will have Butler, Coach Jordan, in his first year. They were a 25-win team, and they're going to be an interesting team this year.
Yeah, I think one of the mistakes that people sometimes make is doubting Butler. Right? That they have a great culture in place, even with the absence of Chris Holtmann heading to Ohio State. You bring in a former player, Laval Jordan, that understands the Butler way. And I love Kamar Baldwin. There's now sophomore guard. I think he is going to be a really good player. Of course, they got Keelan Martin, who's a really good scorer. And that's a program that expects to not just win games, get to the NCAA tournament and make some noise.
East had 6 teams that won 20 or more games last year. Xavier should be another force this year. Chris Mack did a great job in recruiting, and they've got some young players who are really going to help out with veterans like Trayvon Blewett and era.
Chris Mack did such a good job here. Steve, I had him in early March when they lost to Marquette at home, and it felt like it was a team that was done. Stick a fork in them. And he did a good job of getting those guys to continue to battle. And they end up making it all the way to the Elite Eight.
A three by Caleb Joseph. Yeah, you know, they were a little, Xavier was a little like Creighton last year. But both of them lost terrific point guards. Yeah. Obviously, Creighton lost to a knee injury, and Edmond went down, I think, the same week.
Thing. Yeah. And when your point guard goes down, you're dependent on him. It's tough. And then, Trayvon Blewett hurt his ankle when they were trying to as well. And so it just took some time for a guy like Quentin Gooden, the point guard, to fill in, get comfortable. And boy, did they play well in the NCAA.
But you wonder how far they could have gone with Sumner.
No doubt.
Sumner.
Absolutely.
Just want to see everybody healthy.
And it's not out of the question, Steve, that 7 teams could get into the NCAA tournament from the Big East. And it's always hard when you think about how the numbers are going to shake out. But there are 7 teams to me that are worthy of a potential NCAA tournament bid.
You know, it seems like Villanova. I'll tell you, I love that Seton Hall Club team too.
Portion of that core back, Delgado and Carrington, Desi Rodriguez, even Miles Powell back.
Cooley's got a good Providence bunch. Alexander filling it up as Creighton is 109 points. And I think if they get it back inside 30 seconds, Greg McDermott's going to say, fellas, just
slow her down a little bit. But I made the comment with 11 minutes go that it was an important 11 minutes for Tyshawn Alexander. Really felt like he needed to get some things going, get comfortable. He's got 10 points. He's got a couple of assists. You can tell he's starting to get comfortable. He also got 6 rebounds. These are the games where that growth and development for freshmen are imperative, where you have some time to play some extended minutes to get comfortable. And that young man,
10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists in 18 minutes. Ballack, the other highly touted freshman, 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting in only 18 minutes. And then you've got the senior who gets it done. Marcus Foster, points in only 18 minutes. Separation of shot clock means he'll run offense. And Scurry will take the shot, miss it. Creighton will run their on the season. They beat Yale on Friday to 76, and the final score in this one likely will be 109 to 72 as the Blue Jays slow it down. This is the 9-point total in Creighton history. 9 points, knocking off Braves from Alcorn State. We'll be back to talk more about this one right after this. Creighton with a 109 to 72 victory over the Alcorn State Braves. They are 2-0 on this young season. Steve Physiok along with Nick Baugh. And Creighton only led by 13 at the break. A lot of mistakes in the first half, but they corrected that. They outscored the Braves in the second half.
I think there's no doubt the zone bothered Creighton a little bit, got them out of sync. But in the second half, after they were able to settle down, get some adjustments, and get Marcus Foster on the floor for an extended period of time as he was battling foul trouble. With 23 points, the ability for Creighton to finally get out in transition was imperative in that second half.
Yeah, and the young point guards really settled down in that second half, particularly the two who played the most minutes in Mintz and Alexander.
Yeah, in some ways this game was a little bit of a blessing in disguise. With Thomas and Foster in foul trouble, you had some guys that were able to play some extended minutes, and I thought Alexander and Mintz really played well, in particular in that second half.
Well, Creighton has the big. Got something special coming your way next. The U.S. women's team takes on Canada.